Happy third anniversary to Deltarune. Oh, I beg your pardon. But refreshments.
Okay. So, alright, it's actually been over 5 years since we did a video about Undertale.
Yes. Well, the thing is, we haven't really had a lot to talk about.
Well, the thing is, it's just, the last video we did
was
the
yeah,
the shipping rant.
oh dear God, the shipping rant.
One of the worst videos we made.
But that is entirely irrelevant to what we're talking about today.
So
instead, we're talking about our strange Undertale alternate universe ending thing from 5 years ago, all the way back in 2016.
yeah.
It's a long one. It's very strange and very in-depth. So I feel like this kind of speaks for itself. Do note that we don't remember every detail exactly. We remember the key events and how things turned out, but a lot of this stuff we had to make up during the writing process. There's like a lot of the finer details, like the specific dialogue between like ideas we had. So
alright.
Yeah, just keep in mind it's basically a retelling of that old weird idea. It still has all the strange quirks and concepts of the original. Minus the fact that we made Sans' nest canon in that.
Nope.
But that's not
here because
we didn't write that down in this because
no.
No. Anyways, about 5 years ago, we came up with a very odd story idea. That idea was a perfect ending for Undertale. Basically, we wanted an ending where everyone is happy. Asriel, the other humans, and even Gaster would get a happy ending. The entire thing is quite silly, so keep in mind that we were 10 and 12. I being 12 and Noah being 10. So this is really corny and crackpotty.
Yeah.
Also, this is basically a retelling of our old idea since we barely remember anything from the old version in the first place, aside from the basic outline of it. So, I'm going to take a seat so I can read off this what we wrote down better. Noah sent it to me over Twitter. To start, we came up with a more fleshed out genocide run. This meant that there were more exclusive boss fights, basically. This included a Papyrus battle where he didn't hold back, an actual Mettaton Neo battle, Asgore on steroids, and Omega Flowey with no healing. The souls were working with Flowey to destroy you at any cost. We decided to actually name these Papyrus is the Defender, Asgore's Last Stand, and Alpha Flowey. After killing Flowey, the rest of the ending played out the same. The new genocide run was a requirement for the perfect ending since it made your soul more powerful. This is where things get silly. To start, Frisk now had the ability to summon the other human souls to assist them in battle after obtaining their armor and weapons. Kara was an exception to this, and we'll talk about them later. If you obtain all of the armors and weapons related to the souls, and then initiate the date with Sans, he'll comment on how you saved a lot of lost souls, and then says that your soul might be strong enough to save him. He then proceeds to fight you to test your endurance. After beating him, he hands you an experimental device that Alphys created to restabilize existential anomalies. You then had to seek out all of the Gaster followers in their usual locations in order to analyze the anomaly that they relate to. After fighting all of them, you must head to where the mystery door appears in Waterfall and walk back and forth until it shows up. You then enter the door, or where you use the device on the mystery man. This triggers a battle with Gaster. Through acting, you slowly stabilize him with the device, consequently making his attack stronger. Or since he's more tangible. After you fully stabilize him, the battle ends and he offers you his heartfelt thanks, along with apologizing for all the trouble you went through to reach him. If you go back to Snowden, you can talk to Sans, who says he owes you a skeleton for your help, and then casually reveals that Gaster is his father, but Papyrus doesn't remember him.
Oh boy.
After this, you head into the core as usual.
Oh boy.
But not before getting... but not before getting the number for Sans and Gaster on your cell phone. In her next call, Alphys comments on how long it took you to head into the core, wondering what you were doing. She follows this up by saying that there's someone at the door. Alphys then calls you and says she won't be able to help you through the core for reasons. Gaster then takes over Alphys' phone number and calls to talk about the core where you go through it, and frequently comments on how someone's been messing with the security systems that he put in place. When Mettaton shows up, Gaster expresses immense confusion about his existence, upon which Alphys chimes in and explains that he's an experimental robot. I'm sorry about the cat noise. After an awkward silence, Gaster then questions how Alphys became the new royal scientist. The rest of the game up to Omega Flowey plays out the same, though Flowey points out you brought the souls right to him after he kills Asgore. The first part of the extended pacifist run plays out the same, though Gaster is suspiciously absent. Once you enter the True Lab, you kind of messed that up. You see Gaster. The room with the beds, and he quietly curses Alphys for leaving the door open like a total klutz. From here, Gaster helps you navigate the True Lab while being passive-aggressive towards Alphys and her questionable experiments. He also informs you that he was the one who designed the determination extractor, though Alphys must have finished it, because he scrapped the project near the end, believing it wouldn't work. Then he says Alphys may not be completely incompetent after all, though her priorities are questionable. When Alphys confronts you at the end, Gaster's there as well and reassures Alphys that he'll help her handle the backlash she receives after revealing the existence of the amalgamates to the public. The second encounter with Asgore involves Gaster now. Gaster is also added to the Asriel fight alongside Alphys. After Asriel breaks the barrier, you don't wake up. Instead, you're confronted by Kara, who's absolutely furious that you're attempting to be nice after the events of the genocide run. They call you a hypocrite, and then you must fight them. Your character's name is now listed as Frisk, and your only option is to fight. Kara has level 20 stats and comes equipped with the real knife and the locket. Any hit you take kills you instantly, requiring you to start the fight from the beginning. You also automatically have the stick and bandage equipped for this fight. Even if you had replaced them, Kara constantly berates the player before they attack, calling you a coward who can never commit to anything. After you finally manage to deal 98 damage to Kara, the battle ends. Kara admits that you're way too persistent for your own good, and asks if you're proud of yourself. They then proceed to try to push you to kill them, just like you did to all the others. If you wait a few seconds, the mercy button reforms from its broken pieces. You have to select the option repeatedly, like with Flowey. Kara accuses you of playing a sick joke on them. After this, they insist that you only kept playing to spite them, before yelling that they don't understand, also like Flowey. After you hit the button for the final time, the battle ends, and Frisk is standing in a black void with Kara. Kara then proceeds to have a breakdown, repeatedly calling himself an idiot and punching their own skull. They say that they were a fool to abandon the life they had with the Dreamer family. And reveals that they would do anything to have that life back. You then have the option to save Kara. Kara is confused by this notion, but you have to keep insisting. After a while, Frisk hugs Kara, and Kara hugs back. Presumably, Frisk says something to Kara, and an exclamation point appears over the head of the ladder. You use D's. It's a T. It's T's. Latter.
Sorry.
Kara begins to laugh while crying, and quotes Flowey with the line, "You really are an idiot." They agree to this plan, saying that Frisk is a weirdo for wanting to share a soul with them. You finally wake up in Kara's room in New Home, and Asgore walks in to see that you're awake. He leaves the room for a second before coming back, followed by Toriel, Sans, Papyrus, Gaster, Undyne, and Alphys. As Toriel hugs you and says that she was worried, and Gaster comments that you've been unconscious for an entire week. Undyne excitedly tells you that the barrier was broken, and followed by Papyrus saying that nobody wanted to leave until you were awake, since they all wanted to say goodbye. You then get some more dialogue reminiscent of the regular pacifist ending, followed by Gaster telling you that he and Alphys want to speak to you in private in the True Lab. If you head there, Gaster will tell you that he remembers everything from the fight with Asriel, and that he and Alphys had spent the week working on a way to save him. They explain that they have successfully created an artificial soul using Gaster's magic, along with samples that they collected from Asgore and Toriel. Alphys explains that he was waiting for you to deliver it to him, since you know him better than they do. You could deliver the soul to Flowey in the first room of the game. Upon giving him the soul, the screen flashes and he turns back into Asriel. Asriel then hugs Frisk, and technically Kara, before running off screen. When you head back to New Home, Asriel's waiting outside. You accompany him to meet his parents again, which activates the final cutscene. The scene at Mount Abbott's Peak plays out similarly to the final version, but without Gaster and Asriel present. They're also present in the credit sequence, with Gaster using a jetpack in the scene with the Sands of Papyrus and Asriel helping Asgore from the hedges. Yes. The ending shot shows Frisk / Kara laying in bed as usual before stepping out of bed when Torio leaves the room. Kara then thanks the player for being a weirdo and giving them another shot at a happy life. They tell you that Frisk is thankful too before promising that they won't do anything stupid this time. The photograph from the ending where you don't go with Torio, you don't have a choice in this run, is shown with the addition of Gaster and Asriel.
Your choices don't matter.
And that only took 10 minutes.
Yeah, hey, we probably have time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, you're expected to read it off. And you read off a script. Yeah, that was just a little idea.
Oh yeah, and we wanted to save it for Halloween because, Deltarune anniversary.
Yeah.
Either way, that's really all we have to talk about. It was a weird ending idea. I honestly still kind of like it, even if
it definitely got heavy
at the end, and it was a bit cheesy and over the top. But but
yeah,
it's just it's hard to not have affection for something, and you made a long time ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to be doing a Pokemon video tonight.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they were doing it. But, yeah.
That means, I'm Nosrun.
And I'm Amory. And bonjour, my wonderful viewers. See you in the next video. Yeet.